Hey, second grade, it's Mrs. Fondre, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about autumn. What a great season. I love fall. I know last week it kind of felt like summer with how nice the weather was, but we're back to reality here. Leaves are falling, pumpkins are out in the fields, corn is getting harvested. So one of my favorite projects is actually this project in school we're doing right now. It's doing painted corn wreaths, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit. Here's the example I use in class. A lot going on here, all right? And this project actually takes 2 weeks to do for in-school kiddos. So this week I'm assigning this, and I'm not going to have anything new for next week because I would hope you'd work on this for maybe 2 weeks on this one, okay? So at school, you can kind of tell that I've painted this. If you look really closely, there are all sorts of blobs of different colors happening here, mostly brown, orange, and yellow. So if you have paint, you are welcome to paint with us and do painting. But if not, I'm going to show you how to do the marker colored version, okay? If you have paint, you're going to want to start with brown first, then orange, and last yellow, because yellow is one of those colors, you know, if it gets mixed in with something else, it doesn't look yellow anymore. So we want that one to be last so you can see it pretty well, because corn is pretty yellow for the most part. So I have some examples of like what to do that works out well and what not to do, all right? Here's one student's from last week. You can see there's lots of individual little because you're finger painting these. Finger painting, that's gonna get really messy at home. So make sure you have a dirty shirt on or an art smock at home and be ready to get your fingers a little dirty. Not your whole hands, just your fingertips, all right? So you'll start with brown, and then orange, and then yellow, okay? This will take a couple hours probably to dry depending on your paint. So that's why this is a 2-day lesson for kids in school. I do, however, see some paintings that turn out more like this, which you can see there's like swirlies in there where they took their fingers and just like rub. It doesn't have the same like corn effect as the little dots does. So try to get more dots and less smudgy. All right, so if you're painting, have fun with that one and get those fingers dirty today. All right, for everyone else who may not have paint, may not want to make paint, because I do have a paint recipe on this YouTube channel if you ever want to take a peek at that. Put those off to the side here. If you don't have paint, I'm going to show you the marker version of this today, all right? So this goes for painters too, so you should still be paying attention, but you're going to want a very big piece of paper, okay? The ones that I used at school are like 12 by 12 inches, okay? Any size really works. You just make do. The more paper you have, the more corn you can get out of it afterwards, all right? So what we do before we paint, before we color, before we do anything, is we actually draw our corn first. All right, in school we do 5 of these oval corn shapes on the very edge of our paper, okay? It doesn't have to have this little nubby thing or like come to a perfect point, but just think about these as big ovals, all right? You should be able to like fit at least like 2 or 3 fingers in your corn so they're big enough, all right? I like doing 5 because you can see our next step when we're done painting or coloring, you're gonna end up folding this in half to cut out 2 corn cobs, so then you'll end up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 when you're all done. 10 of those. A lot of stuff. So first step here is draw some pretty big ovals. All right, the more you can fit on, the better, but we still kind of want them to look like corn. All right, so that's the first step. The second step, you're actually going to flip the paper over, and that's where you're going to be doing your coloring. All right, so if I switch my camera here, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this with a marker. Okay, markers work really well here because they're a little bit bigger than a colored pencil or a crayon. But if that's all you have, you can really just take your time doing circles for this and making that work. All right, so let me get my paper back down. I can see what I'm doing here. Camera, back it on up because this is a big paper, like I said. There we go. So here's my big piece of paper. Like I said, we're going to be using these 3 colors. We're going to be brown, orange, and yellow. So I'm going to start with brown just because that's what I've been doing with painting. And what you can do with markers, if you want to, you can really take your time, just go circle, fill it in, circle, fill it in, circle, fill it in, and just do really random jumping all over the place. I'm not staying in one spot, trying to fill your whole thing. Because like I said, when you're done, you can kind of see through my paper, I'm going to be cutting corn out all over the place, okay? So another fun thing to do with markers, if you're not afraid to kind of be a little rough with your markers, is to tap all over the place. You can see they're smaller, but it is a little faster. So you can do some tapping. Just add that kind of fun speckly pattern, and you want it to over your whole paper, all right? Maybe you like having big ones and small ones. Do a mix of them. That's fine. That's good, all right? I'm going to call it good for that one just because my marker cover came off, and I'm going to do again. Maybe add some big ones in here because it takes up a little bit more space that way, and I would do the whole paper, but then again, tap, 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 tap. All right. Like I said, paint is quicker, but you can take your time and do this with orange markers and all that good stuff too. All right. Let's do some yellow. All right. Again, gonna be some big spots, little spots all over the spots. I like doing lots of yellow because yellow is a really bright, fun corn color. All right. Don't these colors just scream autumn? I love it. And again, tapping all over the place, adding all that kind of fun texture. All right. That's a good start, okay? Because when I'm done, the whole thing would be covered. I didn't go on this side to save time. You'll be ready, all right? Like I said, those big pieces were all covered. All right, let me switch back to my camera here so I can show you a little easier what this looks like, all right? So from here, you have your whole sheet covered. It's beautiful, it's lovely. Like I said, you have your corn on the other side. So what you're gonna do, you're actually, like I said, gonna fold it, okay? So you can see your corn fits on half of your paper, like this, okay? So then when you cut it out, you have this corn and the one on the back side. So you get double the amount of corn. Oh, it's a lot of corn, all right? So when you're all done, what we're gonna end up doing, you see here on my big one, I have these green pieces of paper. If you don't have green paper, you can just color some paper green with a marker, color pencil, crayon, whatever you got. And you're gonna be cutting out little slivers to kind of put behind here. All right, so you're gonna get a lot of cutting workouts too, where you go snip, 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 because you have to cut out all of those corn pieces and some green. So you can see on the very, very back, I have this special little thing right here. And folks at home, you're gonna have to help with this one a little bit. This is just a piece of cardboard that I cut out to be like a donut, okay? You can see from here, all the backs of my green and my corn glued on top of it, all right? So when you're all done, you're able to glue it to your base, and then you'll be able to hang it up, and there's a hole in the middle. All right. I know this is not the easiest project to do at home. I'm sorry. I wish I could send everybody home with paint, but then I'd have like 100 paint cups going home. Well, for second grade, I'd probably have like 20 or 30, but that's still a lot of paint. If you would like paint though, if you really want it, I will get it to you. I will put some in the office, and the office people can get mad at me for putting paint in there. But if you want paint, please let me know. I can send home little cups. But like I said, it's a lot of paint, so it would be, I mean, I can do it. It's just going to get a little messy in the office if they dump any over accidentally. So if you have any questions, I know I went through this pretty quickly because I have a lot of steps, and I said this is going to be a 2-day project or 2-week project. So let me know if you have questions. I might even add a little bit of a bulleted list for you to kind of keep track of what we're doing because it's a lot of stuff, all right? Otherwise, if you're like, dude, Mrs. Fondre, I'm over that. That's too many steps. You can modify it. You can change this. If you want to just do one giant corn on the cob to show off, you do it, okay? I know. It's like we got to make it work for everybody. So whatever works for you, do it, all right? I'm just happy you're doing art at home and giving it a shot, all right? So questions, comments, let me know. Please post photos in the either Google Classroom or the Seesaw app. I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with because I'm sure it's going to be super creative, and I love getting surprised with what you guys come up with. All right. I can't wait to see these and hopefully talk to you soon. Happy creating.